Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Barker Stadium here in Chapmanville, West Virginia, where we are set to kick off the 2025 high school football season. Chris Kidd with you, along with Dwain Williams next to me, our caller man, JJ Pruitt, our engineer and cameraman here tonight. And Dwain, we were here for preseason last week, but we kick it off with one of the biggest rivalries in the state, the Corridor G rivalry between Chapmanville and Scott.
What a way to start the season for both teams, Chris. Typically, this rivalry takes place a little later in the season, but both of these teams are anxious to get going. What better way to do the Battle of 119?
And you know what? You got a lot of ties in this as well. Again, Nate Easterling used to be here at Chapmanville. His older brother was a quarterback here at Chapmanville. His sister was a great softball player here at Chapmanville, but he goes to Scott last year and helps lead them to the playoffs and had a great season overall for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, he had some big shoes to fill there. Following Matt Fry with all his accolades, he stepped in his second year there, and went 9-3 as a starter, second team All-State. And as a football fan, you've got to love storylines, and what better type of storyline do you have a former Chapmanville player at the helm for the Scott Skyhawks?
And then you look on the other side with Chapmanville. Again, they bring back a lot of the talent from last year, missing some good pieces, but in the scrimmage last week, everything looked pretty good for Chapmanville. I mean, you had some penalties here and there, a couple turnovers, but, you know, his Chapmanville defense looked really strong against Poca and looked really good against Tug Valley, holding them to just 7 points in an hour-long scrimmage. And the offense was clicking on most cylinders minus a couple of turnovers.
Yeah, they played a physical brand of football on both sides of the line, led by Preston Kovac. He just punished people. And then we talked about their variety on offensive skill players. You have the big tight end in Benji Aggins. You have the speedster and the new transfer, Trey Ward. And you also have senior wide receiver Austin Aggins. And with the second year of Dakota Dalton at the helm, you look for a much more explosive offense this season.
As you see Chapmanville, the captains coming towards the sideline right now. Scott has already exited the locker room and on the sideline, so we await Chapmanville coming out here in just a moment as they head towards their tunnel. Well, while we have a moment, just a reminder that this game being brought to you in part by our sponsors here tonight, 304 Motorsports, Danville Pharmacy, Handley Funeral Home, Trend Services, Blessings and Blooms, Domino Printing, Lucky Dog Thrift, Farrell and Hill Insurance, Diamond Flagging Company, J&J Mobile Detailing, PT12, and LB&T Banking. As the Tigers take the field to start this 2025 season, you get two teams that made the playoffs last year, Dwayne. Chapmanville able to get in after a 4-game winning streak into the playoffs after starting 1-5. Scott getting to the quarterfinals last year, and this Chapmanville club still riding high off of that last year, and they feel very confident they won't just make the playoffs this year. They think they can do some damage once they get there.
And Chris, they should be. After that slow start, they turned it on and got that playoff berth. Of course, they wanted to go further, but they had a good showing. Opposing coaches calling them one of the toughest teams they went up against. And as you can see from the full stands, we have a perfect night of weather for football. You can smell it in the air, and what better way to kick it off this season for both teams.
Now, if you're Chapmanville here tonight and you're Scott, what are the two biggest things or one of the biggest things on both sides that you would look that you need to accomplish tonight if you want to get out of here with a win?
I think extended drives. Mm-hmm. Both of these teams have big strike offenses. They have good quarterbacks who can get the ball down the field. I'm looking for both sides, who can extend those quote-unquote long, boring drives, because those big plays aren't going to be there every single drive. So I want to see who's methodical enough, physical enough to have a long drive, and that will show up in the fourth quarter. If you're able to wear on a defense over and over and over, I think who does that will win this game.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be big right there. Turnover battle's always key in this, but I'm like you, who can protect the football, who can sustain these drives, maybe who gets the big play or two. And normally that happens quick in these games between these two, because you see both sides come out with what they prepared for versus what they want to catch the other team off guard with. And I'd say I wouldn't be surprised to see some trickery here in this first quarter from one of the sides.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. These two teams know each other very well. It's a known rivalry. Chapmanville is looking to get on the board for the first time in a long time in this rivalry, so it means even more to them, I would say. And we're going to see some trickery probably early, maybe catch them off footing. And these teams haven't showed a lot in the scrimmage, as most teams don't early on if they have scrimmages or 7-on-7 in their sets. So you're going to see what they're really all about this season.
And that's the thing, Chapmanville, they want to get off to a hot start here tonight. They want to play from the lead, and so they chose to take the ball first here in the opening quarter. And in these type of games, that is big. If you can get on top, you can control the tempo, you can control the pace, that could lead to a lot of success, not just here, but definitely handling things and being able to control the tempo in the second half.
And it's also need to get settled down early. There's a lot of emotions. Not only is the first game of the season, it's a rivalry game. It's such an important game to both communities. So I'm anxious to see who can handle these nerves on each of the team's first drive.
Well, it'll be Scott to kick it off to get things started here, as Tucker Bredlev, the senior, will be the man to kick it off. As you've got Marion Corbett, one of the men back deep for Chapmanville, along with Evan Strange, as we are set to kick off the 2025 season. It is week one here in the Mountain State, and it's Scott and it's Chapmanville here in one of the greatest rivalries in the state of West Virginia. As he approaches the ball, swings the right leg, and we're underway as it'll come down to Corbett. He fumbles it inside the 10, spins around, picks it up at the 6, heads over towards the left side, and he's upended at about the 10-yard line. Great coverage by Scott.
I just spoke on early game jitters. Not sure if that was the case there, but no matter what, Chapmanville, they're backed up now. They're going to have to keep their composure and get a long drive, at least a mediocre drive here to, at minimum, flip field position.
It'll be sophomore Dakota Dalton leading them out, as he will start from just past his own 10-yard line here to start the first quarter. Again, he's got a plethora of weapons to work with. As you mentioned, Trey Ward coming over. You've got a couple of speedsters with him and Austin Atkins over on that left side at the top of your screen right now. Now they'll put Benji Atkins over there to overload that side on 1st and 10. They give it off to Kovac. Pushes forward out across the 15. The helmet comes off for Scott after about a 5-yard pickup.
As expected, Kovac gets the first crack at the Scott defense and right up the gut. Let's see if Chapmanville can continue that physical offensive line play we saw last week in the scrimmage.
And Chapmanville likes to go a little bit up tempo here, as offensive coordinator James Barker likes to control the pace. Again, just because they get to the line quickly doesn't mean they're going to snap it right away. Again, they'll bleed the play clock down if they don't like the look they get. So give it off to Kovac here on second down. A flag comes in immediately as the big bull of a senior pushes his way out to the 25 for a first down, but will it hold up?
Another thing to watch for early on this season is penalties. First, real live action against those ugly jerseys on the other sideline for both teams. Going to see who can play mistake-free football.
Yeah, that will be one of the keys here tonight as well. Usually here in game one, you get a bunch of penalties. You get a lot of cramping that goes on in these games. So it'll be interesting to see who can win that war of attrition, as it looks like this is going to be against Chapmanville. And that'll wipe out the first down run for Kovac. And this will push them back 5 yards. So looked like they were lined up wrong at the line of scrimmage and never quite got one of the receivers lined up that time. Now that changes your thinking here on 2nd and 9, Dwayne, because, you know, you're running the ball effectively, but now maybe time to go to the air here, but you got to be careful deep in your own territory.
Yeah, it's the plight of all offensive coordinators, especially aggressive ones like Coach James Barker. You want to come out to a hot start, but you also don't want to make matters worse. When you're backed up this far, second and long, after a muff kickoff, now a penalty, you got to be very careful. You don't want to get too antsy, take too much of a risk, so patience is key here.
Again, the officials, over talking with head coach Zach Belcher, and we're talking with coordinator James Barker momentarily. I'm guessing they didn't like the flag on the play. They thought they were lined up properly. But Coach Belcher getting a lengthy explanation right now near the sideline, just 45 seconds into the game. And this is an argument Coach Belcher's not going to win, obviously, but this is one that he's wanting to try and maybe set a tone for later in the game.
It's always good to set that tone early on, and Coach Belcher's always looking to do that, whether it's through his players, through the officials. There's never a lack of intensity.
I tell you what, they're having a powwow down there. Well, now they may be having some trouble with some communications, as Coach Belcher gave his headset over to one of the officials. So it looks like we're having some play clock issues. Bo Berry just informed us. So we saw it was working earlier on the first couple of snaps, but they may have to keep the play clock down on the field here going forward. And that can be tricky for the offensive side, Dwayne. Again, you see some delay of games pop up, not being able to totally have that internal clock working the way you want to.
Every little thing is magnified the first game of the season. Now, I've already said that multiple times already, but everything's magnified in even more intensity than it should be.
Now they wind the clock, and the play clock is going now, so apparently whatever issue we had with it is back under control. So now after the 5-yard penalty, it'll be 2nd down and 9 for Chapmanville. Out of the shotgun is Dalton. Has 3 receivers. He'll hand it off to Kovac. He pushes forward, and Kovac pushes forward right towards the first down, so they sneak Kovac in out of that shotgun formation, and he's able to pick up 8, close to 9.
Nice physical run again. The offensive line got a push. Kovac was right on their back, but he played some pinball action there and got a few extra yards, which gets the chains moving there. Exactly what they needed after those 2 first mistakes, so see if they can build some momentum on this.
Now Chapmanville to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from their own 23. They go to Kovac again. Again, they ride the workhorse, pushing his way, carrying people, carrying his own men out across the 25-yard line, out close to the 28. He carried about half the field of play out for that 5-yard gain, Dwayne.
Not bad pursuit at all by the Skyhawks. It looked just like Kovac put his head down and just kept moving the pile. We've seen him do that many times.
So he does get gain of 6 overall. They push him out to the 29-yard line. And again, not only is Kovac good running back, but he's also a really good kid too. Again, he's very respectful, very quiet whenever you have him in class too, but he's one of the biggest backs and one of the toughest backs to bring down here in the state right now. It's on 2nd and 4. Quick fire out to the outside, complete to Trey Ward. Ward shakes one man, shakes another, shakes a third, gets upfield, spins away from a man and out to the 46-yard line, close to the 47. Welcome to Chapmanville, Trey Ward.
Trey Ward says, please allow me to introduce myself to these Chapmanville fans. We saw it on the first play last week in the scrimmage. He took one to the house. There he made about 4 Skyhawks miss, so it's not going to take long for him to become a fan favorite for those who don't know him yet.
I was going to say, we've definitely seen him at Man over the years, and he was one of the more electrifying kick returners in the state and one of the better cornerbacks as well. He's a ball hawker on defense. He'll definitely find ways to jump in passing lanes, get interceptions. He just has a nose for the ball. So on 1st and 10, they go back to Kovac, spins his way across midfield, and right now Chapmanville getting what they want. Chunk play after chunk play here as they cross the 50.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? Another example of just using that strong offensive line, and Chapmanville's done a great job of already flipping field position. Now they're looking for more.
Now it'll be 2nd down and about 3 here after the 7-yard gain. Scott trying to find a way to slow down this offense right now as they catch their breath. As Dalton goes to his wrist sheet. So you're down to 10 on the play clock as they get settled. 3 to the near side, nobody up top. And that's a dangerous 3-man formation you're looking at the bottom of the screen as they go quick bubble screen to Adkins. Adkins makes a catch, splits between a defender, fights forward and wrestles his way down to the 36-yard line for a gain of 12.
You spoke about it, Chris. That's a dangerous 3 players to have out there. Perfectly executed bubble screen. Nice pass by Dakota Dalton in rhythm. And great block up front by number 8, Jeremy Collins. So Austin Adkins grabs that, and he's got the ability to make people miss as well. Weapons all over the field for the Tigers.
Chapmanville into Scott territory. This drive started at about their own 10-yard line after the muff on the kickoff. And now in 4 minutes, they are in Scott territory looking to make a statement here on this opening drive. Dalton in the shotgun. Now they shift the 3 receivers to the high side. They'll give it to Kovac. Good job by Scott that time. They crashed off the edge and right up the middle, able to shut that down for the first time as Ethan Bowe, along with Jeremiah Brown, came in to help make the stop.
Jeremiah Brown with a great crash there. Came off that corner, and it takes down a very tough runner, but great job by Scott. They knew that was coming. They've seen it multiple times already, so they're trying to get Chapmanville behind the sticks a bit here.
That'll be 2nd down and 11. First play for a loss for Chapmanville here on this drive. 7:20 and counting here in the first quarter as Kovac will switch over to the left side of Dalton. They hand it off to Kovac. This time, once again, Scott stacks the middle, and they're able to meet Kovac for no gain.
Cooper Grant and company there making a good stop. had a good start there by the offensive line. Jackson Topping actually got to the second level, but the rest of the line there was overwhelmed. Great gang tackling by Scott. They're looking at 3rd and long. It's exactly what Scott needed to do. Chapmanville was gaining some momentum. They're on Scott's side of the field, so that's exactly those back-to-back plays that Scott needs to do.
And again, you're in no man's land right here if you're Chapmanville, so this is 4-down territory either way.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the run there on 2nd down wasn't at all a bad call, but you know they're going to go to the air here, and they do to Ward. Quick screen to the outside. Ward cuts it upfield, gets the sideline inside the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds. Another 1st down for Chapmanville.
Great play call by Coach Barker there on the offensive coordinator, and great timing throw. And as you can already see, Trey Ward needs very little daylight. Like I said last week, he can make people miss in a phone booth.
Yes.
That guy can get full speed in a half a step. Great call there, great execution.
And if you're the Scott corners right now, there's not a lot you can do. If you come up and start press coverage, I mean, these guys can blow by you in a heartbeat for a big play. So if you're Scott, you just got to come up. You got to make the initial tackle somehow.
Yeah, right now it's pick your poison. And that's exactly what you want as an offensive play caller, keeping the defense off balance.
Now 1st and 10 from the 15. They go back to Kovac, and he pushes his way down to the 11-yard line for a gain of about 4, as Chapmanville has controlled the ball for nearly half this quarter already.
Great stick there by number 50, Thomas Crisp, the senior defensive player for Scott. And exactly right, Chris. They have controlled the clock. This is exactly what we talked about just before kickoff. What you want early on is to control the clock, settle those nerves, get a long, grueling drive. And after the start, you didn't think that was going to happen with the muff kick and then the penalty. They've done exactly what they needed to do to get in the red zone.
I'll give credit to Coach Dwain Williams on that one. He's the one that brought that up, so that was a good call. And now there's another good call to Collins. Fights his way forward, wrestles, and he's into the end zone. Tigers on top first with 5:44 to go in the first quarter.
Jeremy Pearl Jam Collins shows that there's another running back that can make some things happen. Great push from that offensive line from Jackson Topping and company, and what a way to finish that drive. He gets contacted about the 3, finishes it off in the end zone. Great way to start the season for the Tigers.
Again, Chapmanville held the ball for 6 minutes and 16 seconds on that drive. You got a dose of Kovac, you got a dose of Atkins, you got a lot of Ward, and you got Jeremy Collins to tap things off as the extra point by Farrell is through, and Chapmanville leads at 7-0. We'll be back after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Six minutes, 16-second drive for Chapmanville, goes 90 yards and ends on an 11-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Collins. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you, with J.J. Pruitt, our engineering. A great statement for Chapmanville trying to end this losing streak against Scott.
I want to thank all you guys for tuning in on D&D Sports on Facebook Live. Already see we have some fans from Myrtle Beach watching. We have fans from Scott and Chapmanville. We always appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Ashton McClanahan will boot it away. Ball in a scrum there across the 40 at about the 42, close to the 43. And Scott will start out with good opening field position here as the Tiger is down on the field right now after maybe getting rolled up on inside of that fray.
Nice gang tackle there, finished off by Keegan Craddock. And let's check on the player here.
Again, we couldn't see the number initially of who it was that went down, as one of his teammates was over there checking on him. Okay. Well, while he's down, we'll step aside and be back right after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Evan Strange, the junior, was the one that was down for Chapmanville, got up and had to be helped off the field, was limping a little bit, but thankfully was able to put some weight on it as we come back here, Dwain. Now it'll be Nate Easterling to take his first snap of the season. We've got movement everywhere along the line of scrimmage as we saw one Tiger cross, Josh Porter on the left side. Let's see if he was induced or not.
Looked like both players, one from each team, was excited to get that play started. I think the Scott Skyhawk jumped a little bit quicker, which enticed him to come across the line.
So there's one penalty apiece now in the early going. Both of the 5-yard variety, but this will back up Scott. And again, Scott lost a lot of good talent on this offense from last year's team that got to the playoffs. Again, they had a lot of good speedsters, a lot of good playmakers on the offensive side. So let's see what they're able to do here up front against Chapmanville. You got two pretty good size lines for both sides. As Easterling out of the shotgun. Two receivers to the bottom, has his back in the backfield. He'll give it to him on 1st and 15. Pushing forward, still trying to fight for a couple extra yards there. On the first play goes Mason Brown, the senior, and he'll get some of that penalty yardage back. It'll be 2nd down 11.
Very tough run, a lot of yards after contact there by Brown. Finished that off very, very strongly. So good job of getting most of those penalty yards back, so they're looking at 2nd and long.
Yeah, Mason Brown, he's no shrinking violet himself there. 5'10", 215 pounds, trying to bring him down. Not quite as big as Kovac, but at the same time, he's another bruising back in this game. Now Easterling on 2nd and 11. Takes the snap, he'll roll to the far side, fires into the flat and intercepted. Trey Ward. Who else? We talked about it just moments ago, Dwayne. Trey Ward finds ways to jump into passing lanes, force mistakes, and he's got an eye for the ball. And right there, able to pick off Easterling on his first throw of the year.
Mr. Ward doesn't waste any time introducing himself. And Easterling rolling right there. Looked like a one read, or maybe he had his mind set up before that throw. Really was nothing there. Trey Ward basically looked like he ran the route for the wide receiver. And this could be a very dangerous time for the Skyhawks. Let's see what Coach Barker does here with his play call. A lot of teams like to go immediately with a deep shot off of a turnover, a quick hit, or does he stay within his game plan? I'm anxious to see what they do starting off this drive.
Yeah, this is right here set up for about anything that Chapmanville wants to do. And again, Trey Ward, he's just got such a good football mind. It's hard to fool him in the secondary. I think he's just as, if not even more dangerous in the secondary for Chapmanville than he could be at receiver this year. And that's saying something. So now on 1st down, out of the shotgun comes Dalton. And saw a little movement a little early on the top half of that Chapmanville line. Looked like the left tackle moved a little early.
Maybe they had a big play call there. You see that anxiousness? That I don't know what the play call was, but I'm leaning towards they might have been taking a shot there.
Yeah, you could kind of see it down in the huddle in the sideline too. They had a play they wanted to run right there, so we'll see if they go back to it here, if they try and save it for a little bit later. Again, there's certain times in games you want to try and run certain sets. So let's see if Chapmanville goes back to it here. They do fake. They look to throw. Dalton loading up. Goes downfield for Adkins. He's got it. Inside the 20. Shakes a man inside the 15. Still trying to get free. Bounces back inside. Now the ball comes free. Scott has it as they come back the other way across the 15-yard line, and brought down quickly is Caden Sharps. What a turn of events there, and I think I heard flag maybe on the back end of that.
Well, that answers our question. Coach Barker dialed up a big shot. What a throw by Dakota Dalton, an anticipation throw. He threw that before Austin was behind those two defenders. But let's give Sharps and the rest of the Skyhawks credit. They kept after the play, and let's see what this penalty means. But they might have saved themselves there. What a play by both teams.
Yeah, that was a great job by Adkins outrunning both defenders as the flag is all the way down back at the 40-yard line on the opposite side of the 40-yard or of midfield. So let's see who this is on. Again, I don't see Dalton on the field. So,
I don't. If it's a penalty on Chapmanville, you expect it to be declined because I didn't see him stop the play, or maybe I missed the flag. But it seems like the fumble should stand.
Okay, yeah, well, there's Dalton on the field. So, again, I'm just surprised because the line of scrimmage is the 48-yard line. The flag's all the way back at the 48 yards further back. So, I'm like you. I don't know who this is on yet. I haven't seen them signal anybody. So we're still kind of waiting to try and figure out exactly what's going on with this. As on the field, Scott recovers a fumble, getting a turnover right back after the interception by Trey Ward.
Just an example of high-intensity plays in a rivalry game. Would expect nothing less. We got the big play, got the turnover. Momentum is going to be key. Let's see how these teams can handle these swings of emotions. Very good example of Coach Dolan's squad here, not to drop their head. They get an interception, a big play by Dalton to Agyans. They stay within the play. Austin's just trying to do more to get more yards. No fault in that, but he's got to secure that football. And Sharps comes up and makes that recovery. So a big play already in the first quarter.
Yeah, and we saw that in the scrimmage last week. Chapmanville had a fumble that went through the end zone whenever they were about ready to score. So, you know, little things like that are definitely what you want to try and clean up. But I'm like you, that thing seemed like just a good defensive play and a good poke out by Scott.
Absolutely.
Now Scott was ready to break the huddle, but now the officials, I think, try and get everything resettled. We've got 4:35 to go here in the opening quarter. Chapmanville scored on a 90-yard touchdown march on their opening drive. Scott turned it over a moment ago on just their second play from scrimmage, and then Chapmanville turns it over right back.
You got to see which players are going to step up for the Tigers and the Skyhawks who are going to be the leader. This Chapmanville team lost a lot of senior leadership last year. Let's see if some even the younger guys. Dakota Dalton's only a sophomore. Is he going to step up? They have plenty of senior leadership as well. Is it going to be somebody on that line? The leaders will step up in times like this to settle everybody down, stay within their game plan, no highs, no lows, one play at a time.
Well, I don't really know why they've had such long extended stoppages here in the first quarter, but they're huddling over there with Scott. It looks like maybe Coach Dolan talking with them.
This pace reminds you of too many instant replay reviews in the NFL, so wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess week one, it's week one for everybody.
JJ has a lot of technology over here with D&D Sports, but I assure you we're not going to the booth for replays with these officials.
Yeah, I don't want to be in charge or anywhere near that at this level. I think they've got the replay for the state championship games now, but that's about it. And now we see Scott come out for their first play of their second drive as Easterling climbs under center this time. He goes to the deep hand off to the left side, but that's met in the backfield. And a big drive back as it looked like Colton Brock was the one that got in there first and helped drive that backwards as there was just nowhere to go for Brown.
It looks like Benji Agyans off the edge there.
Yes,
I thought it was
Benji.
Brock as well. Benji, the mismatch maker on offense as a tight end, also shows what he can do. He's got that prototypical defensive end size. We know what good hands and feet he has, but he was explosive coming off there. Great play by Benji Agyans.
Yes, Benji, like I said, him and Colton have got kind of similar builds whenever they're out there, but that was Benji coming off that left side. And he came out last year for the first time, and he's made a big difference. We haven't seen him get the ball yet on the offensive side, but you know you will before the end of the night. As Scott will run it here on second down. Nice little hole opened up there initially for Cooper Grant, and he's able to get some yardage out across the 20, and that'll make it third down and more manageable now.
Nice little quick hitter right up the gut. I was anxious to see what Scott's going to do after that turnover and being in this negative field position and two back-to-back runs. Let's see how they handle this third down. Easterling coming off his interception on his only throw. Let's see how he responds.
Here come the Skyhawks on 3rd and 7, looking for their first down of the game. Chapmanville trying to get the ball right back after the fumble a moment ago inside the 20. As Easterling hands it off, coming near side to about the 25. Nice little counter play that time. That's going to be a little bit short as Grant couldn't quite get there, and it's going to be 4th down and about 2 here.
Looked like Austin killing them there, cleaning up that play at the end. Came through there pretty fast, tackled up high, but he still got the man down.
So they're going to put it at the 26-yard line. So it's going to be 4th. And you can call it a short 2 or a long 1, whatever you want right now. And let's see what Scott elects to do here. Again, they look like they've kept most of their offense on the field here, and I think now Scott wants to talk about it.
Now they're going to think about it, Chris. You're going to see Scott's mindset here, what they decide to do.
Well, we'll step aside for a quick break and be back after this as you're watching high school football action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
On 4th and 1, Scott comes out now. And this time they look like they've sent the punting unit on. And me and you talked about it a little bit during the break. Maybe there might be a chance they send out the offense to try and maybe do a quick snap. Maybe they try and draw Chapmanville offsides. But after the timeout, that obviously changes that strategy.
Yeah, you don't want to burn 2 timeouts there. One's acceptable, not 2.
So now Scott will punt it away again. A couple of deep threats back there for Chapmanville, but a flag comes in here.
Looked like some movement possibly on 51 there, Jones. Maybe trying to get a little bit of contact there first, but now you back up to 5 yards, and you got to wonder if that makes Coach Dolan wonder. Maybe we could have went up there and tried to do a bluff and accept that 5-yard penalty, but you can't see in the future. So once again, maybe just some of these young guys being a little bit excited. First game of the season. You never want to fault a guy for being excited, but you got to stay disciplined, especially when you're backed up inside your own 20. Every yard matters, especially what they're kicking to. You take a look at these athletes back here for Chapmanville. It looks like you got Agyans and Ward. So
pick your poison.
Pick your poison. Let's see how it affects the punter.
Neal will send it away here as he tries to kick it away and short, and he does. And that's going to give Chapmanville great field position as it takes a Chapmanville hop backwards to about the 42 of Scott. So that's going to be a big game changer this year in the punting game for Chapmanville, because you know teams do not want to kick to any of these guys that are back trying to receive the punts. So their punters and their special teams are going to have to get very creative to try and keep the ball away from those two.
And that's a prime example how explosive returners can affect the game, even without touching the ball. Not only do you have one guy back here that's capable of taking it to the house, you have two. So sometimes when you're trying to angle, you're thinking too much, and you get a shank in there. So it flips field position. Anybody that discounts special teams don't watch enough football. Coach Belcher has talked about that a lot leading up to the season, how important the special teams group is.
On 1st and 10, Dalton gives it off to Kovac, once again pushing forward and carrying people with him as he burrows his way down to the 35-yard line for a gain of 7, close to 8 on the carry.
Just an absolute battling ram in there. Dawson Atkins in there mixing it up. You got a guy in there following behind Dawson that's bigger than Dawson, and those two guys are pound for pound some of the strongest guys on the team. So that's a physical brand of football, and as we can already see with the first quarter, winding down a bit, what the mindset is of the Tigers.
Here they come with under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, 2nd and 3. As they go back to the sideline with 7 seconds on the play clock to try and get a change up here, looking at Scott's alignment. Down to 2, down to 1. Dalton's going to hurry, and he just does get it off. Gives it to Kovac. He gets away from the first man, stays on his feet, and able to get down to the 30-yard line. What agility there by the senior. Again, we've seen his power, but there you saw the athleticism of Kovac.
Absolutely. 34, Mason Brown comes in and goes a bit low, which you can't fault him. Most defenders end up going low on Kovac because he is so big and imposing, but to have that type of agility, I mentioned it last week, it looks like Mike Allstott. He's a big, almost looks like a linebacker, but has those quick, nimble feet.
And you mentioned Dawson Atkins there on that left guard position. Again, today at school, he was so proud of the muscles that he had built in the offseason. He wanted me to touch him. I said, I ain't touching those things.
If there's anybody proud of their muscles, it's Dawson Atkins. He's flexing 24/7.
Oh, he's such a fun kid. And they give it off again to Kovac. He gives a stiff arm, stays on his feet inside the 20, spins away. And now the officials are going to say he was down, but he was not, I don't think. I didn't see where he hit. Did you, Dwayne?
Oh, I did not. I thought he put his hand down. It looked like everybody quit for a second. Absolutely thought he stayed up, but maybe they saw better than we because so many people just quit on that play.
Yeah, again, that was really close, but yeah, it looked to me like Kovac didn't go down, but maybe we'll have to take a look at that later. Nevertheless, it's an 8-yard pickup.
A little bit of a different attack there. It looked like they ran off tackle with that play, and it kind of caught Scott off guard and got some great yards even before the first contact. And as you know, Kovac doesn't go down many times at the first contact.
Down to 15 seconds now in the first quarter. Could be the last play. They fake. Dalton went to throw it, slipped out of his hands. Ball's free on the ground, and Scott has it. No, they're going to say incomplete pass. Well, what a break for Chapmanville.
Absolutely. It looked like the ball flew out of his hand as he drew that back. I was expecting the fumble, but the white hat calls incomplete, and Chapmanville dodges a bullet there.
So again, the arm was coming forward as he was doing that. And so that would be the call. Again, I guess you could say the old Tom Brady rule.
The old Tom Brady play.
Yeah, it's one. Hopefully my father's not out there listening. My dad might have broke something if he hears the Tom Brady play. As they go with a quick screen on 3rd and 2, Collins has it, and he'll have enough for the first down. And that will give Chapmanville a new set of downs when we come back for the start of the second quarter as they are threatening to go in once again after a 90-yard touchdown drive gives them a 7-0 lead. We'll be back after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com, and all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com, and all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back for the start of quarter number 2. Chris Kidd with you. Dwayne Williams alongside me. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. As Chapmanville with a first down at the Scott 17, leading it 7-0. They give it a Ward on a wide receiver sweep, pushes outside, hit from behind. Did the ball come out? Yes, it did, and Scott picks it up. Let's see the official signal, and it looks like they are going to say Scott football here. And if so, that's going to be the second turnover for Chapmanville inside the 20-yard line.
If this stands, another self-inflicted wound by the Tigers. A jet sweep to Ward around the corner. Going to get number 17, Jeremiah Brown, a lot of credit there. He followed that play. I'm not sure if he's the one who caused the fumble, but you see that hustle. And that's another sign of Coach Dolan's crew of staying within their means, keeping a level head, keeping that intensity, and not giving up. Because without these turnovers, this game could look a lot different right now.
Yeah, and to be fair to Ward there, he took a wallop from behind there as he was trying to get forward. But yeah, I'm like you right now, Dwayne. You could be looking at nearly a 21-0 score.
Absolutely.
And instead, it's still 7-0 as Scott's still looking for their first down of the game as Brown pushes forward a little bit. Doesn't get much. That Chapmanville run defense is stout, and he gets maybe a yard on the carry.
Way to finish up these plays and gang tackling you see on both sides there. It looked like Kovac was in there cleaning up on the defensive side as well. We had Ward on the corner forcing those guys back inside. It looked like everybody stayed in their lanes, and I do think the Skyhawks are going to have to open it up a little bit to put a stop to this run defense, because right now Chapmanville isn't showing a lot of respect for the passing game.
And we took a poll in the booth during the break, and almost everybody up here said they thought Kovac was definitely on his feet, and that took a touchdown away from Chapmanville potentially. So now Easterling in the shotgun, and the officials blow it dead here. Okay, the play clock, I believe, ran out, so he has to lay a game here against Scott. So that'll be their third penalty of the first half.
Definitely not what you want at your own 20. Basically an unforced error. They got to show some urgency. They got to flip this field position. Very important drive here because they have dodged some bullets. Not sure how many times they can do that throughout this game. It's going to catch them eventually. So a very important drive here for the Skyhawks.
They work behind the sticks once again here as it'll be 2nd down and 14 with a little over a minute gone here in the second quarter. They'll give it to Brown out of the shotgun, fights his way forward as he was hit from behind by big 54 for Chapmanville, breaking through there. Ethan Dingus and several others there in on the tackle. I'm like you right now, Dwayne. There's just no running lanes hardly at all for the Scott Skyhawks. And then you look at the passing game, they're going to have to go up against Ward, who already has an interception, Atkins, who's difficult out there in coverage. So, again, Easterling, I think you're going to have to see him drop back here, but they've got to find something to try and loosen up that front for Chapmanville.
Absolutely. Jackson Topping in the middle is clogging that up right now, and everybody else is doing their job to clean it up. And I think it might have been Porter on that last play possibly. Couldn't see, but a great job by Chapmanville.
Easterling avoids a little pressure, now fires into the flat, completes it, getting away from one man, the 30, the 35, and that'll be the first down of the game for the Skyhawks as Ryan Neal, great job by him, able to shake through a tackle and push forward to move the chains.
Great job by Easterling there to move in the pocket, had some pressure, kept his eyes downfield, and got that throw out there just in time, and Neal makes a man miss. And let's remember that play right there, Chris. They're 3rd and long around their 20-yard line. If Chapmanville gets a stop there, they're going to get good field position. So let's remember that play and see how this drive ends up.
Easterling, again, as you mentioned, 2nd team All-State last year. Again, a lot of agility. Good job keeping his head upfield there to find his man to make a play. They'll go with a quick hitter this time, right up the gut. They fake it to the other side, picking up about 3, close to 4 yards on that play is Grant out to the 40.
Look like a new formation they've showed this game for the first time. Nice little quick hitter. Chapmanville's getting some penetration there, so they're trying to counteract that by getting something very quick right up the gut, right in the A-gap.
It looks like Wesley Watts was a little shaken up on the play for Chapmanville as he comes off the field. So the officials called for time momentarily to allow Watts to get to the bench as he'll get checked on. But now it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Skyhawks. 7-0 Chapmanville leads it, but Scott been able to force 2 turnovers as Chapmanville's been driving in the red zone and now trying to find a way to get an offensive drive started here to try and go down and perhaps tie this game as Easterling stacks up, tries to avoid Topping, but he's slung to the ground as Jackson Topping comes up with a sack.
We talked about Topping anchoring that run defense. He shows he can do it all. Easterling made a good play to try to avoid the rush and steps up, and Toppings is right there to to clean it up. And if there's a guy that's going to get rough and smile while he's doing it,
Yeah.
Jackson Topping.
He is. He's such a fun kid. I mean, he's very polite. He's almost like a dad in the locker room.
I like to call him the mayor. He can go to any event. He's shaking hands. He's kissing babies. He's talking to all ages. So the mayor with the big sack right there.
Oh, he is. He's such a well-mannered kid and such a great guy. I said he's fun to be around, and he loves to play. I mean, so is his family. I mean, they've been a great lineage here at Chapmanville. As Easterling on 3rd and 10 fires towards the near side. Couple of men out there, but a little too bunched on the near side. As it may have been a situation where one of the receivers broke their routes off. It looked like Woodrum or Brown one kind of got messed up on where they were supposed to go on that route.
Typically, there's a miscommunication by one of the receivers there. When you have two guys in the exact same spot, somebody didn't get the call, somebody got confused on the play, but unfortunate to happen on 3rd down. And looks like the Skyhawks probably will punt here.
So they do get their first down of the game, and again, that does give them a little bit of confidence going forward here. And they had a couple of decent looks there on that drive, so a much more positive drive for the Skyhawks. With 8:13 to go in the first half, but now Chapmanville will get the ball back, and a bad snap. Gets over the head. Running back is Neal. Picks it up inside the 5. Trying to get away. Throws it forward. Caught. Trying to shake free, but finally brought down at the 11 is Neal, and Chapmanville gets a big break right back, and now they're knocking on the door once again.
The last thing you wanted there as a Skyhawk, bad snap over the head. You got to give the kids credit for trying to make something happen at that point, not anything else you can do. The question is, can Chapmanville capitalize? We've seen some turnovers. We've seen some miscues. So such a big play there, such a big unforced error. Let's see what happens here. Can Scott keep it together to keep this game close, or can Chapmanville finally put something together again and take advantage of one of these turnovers?
And for Neal on that, the snap was just nowhere near him on that play. You got to give him some credit for going back and turning something into nothing on that, and at least not letting Chapmanville get the scoop and score. But now Chapmanville has it at the 12. They'll give it off to Collins. Spin move inside the 10 as he fights his way down close to the 6-yard line. It's Jeremy Collins, another strong run, who has the only touchdown so far of the game.
Another nice run, and one thing we can see right now that's consistent is making the first guy miss. We've seen Ward do it. We've seen Aggins do it. Now we see Collins do it. Nice spin move there to get some extra yards. Great first play.
Now Chapmanville huddle up here on 2nd down. 7:35 to go in the first half. It's Tigers looking to try and take a 2-possession lead. Again, they've been on the verge of it a couple of times in this half. Now trying to punch it in from the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Anxious to see if we see a play action here.
Dalton gets under center for one of the few times, gives it off to Kovac, bulls his way forward and falls forward down close to the 1-yard line. So now it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 for Chapmanville.
Looks like they're going a little bit of a hurry up, catch them off guard.
And you can see the hurry up coming in. They don't want Scott to try and get set here as Dalton will go under center once again. He'll go to Kovac once again. This time he runs into a pile and is pushed backwards, and he's not going to get there as he falls forward back to the line of scrimmage.
Maybe rush it a bit too much. The timing, the alignment there looked a bit off. Looked like the two guys in the backfield ran into each other. Lucky that we didn't have another turnover there.
Yeah, I think if you see another one down here this close, it's going to cause a lot of concern on the sideline for Chapmanville. You might see some hair flying all over the place as it gets pulled out by the coaching staff. But they are literally on the 1-inch line right now.
You got to wonder if we're going to see Dalton do his best Jalen Hurts impression with the tush push.
Yeah, let's see here. They come out with the same formation. Collins the deep back. They go forward, give it off, and walking into the end zone goes Collins. His 2nd score of the afternoon, and it is now a 13-0 lead for Chapmanville.
Nice job by the Tigers to capitalize on the turnover on special teams by Scott. They cleaned that up very nicely. Nice run by Collins. Nice push by that offensive line again.
It comes at 6:24 to play here in the 2nd quarter. It's Jeremy Collins. Apparently all he does is score touchdowns this season, Dwain. And he's gotten the ball just a couple times. He's been in the end zone both times. Oh, now they're going to run a fake on the 2-point conversion, I believe, but that just went nowhere in a hurry as Farrell was going to try and keep it and run forward. but Scott does a good job of stuffing that as we head to break. It's a 2-touchdown lead for the Tigers as you are watching high school football right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 and reach us Monday through Friday.
$13-0, Chapmanville leads it as we approach the midway point of quarter number 2 here in week 1 of the high school football season. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer, as McClanahan set to kick it away to the Skyhawks after the second touchdown run by Collins. This little squibber lands inside the 25, taken by Scott. Nice return here across the 30 and squirting out towards the 35-yard line. Will give Scott decent field position to start this drive.
Decent field position, and Scott's going to have to do something down the field. We've mentioned it a few times already. It's not too early to think about that. You don't have to get outside your game plan. You have plenty of time left, but you're going to have to make this Tiger defense respect the passing game.
And right now, could come down to how much time Easterling gets in the pocket as well. We saw Topping get the sack on him a moment ago on their last possession. And again, this Chapmanville front starting to win on both sides here tonight. The offensive line has been superb here for the Tigers. And now Easterling and the Skyhawks come to the line here. Can they get something going here before halftime? They do get the ball to start the third quarter as they give it straight ahead. Nice little sneak play there right up the gut. That one's worked several times here tonight so far for Scott as Grant able to get it across the 40.
I think that's a pretty quick adjustment by Coach Dolan because they see the penetration by the defense, and they're doing those little quick hitters to get through that line. And sometimes these defensive linemen are there so quick, they're running past the ball carrier. Nice adjustment by Dolan.
And I think you're going to see a little bit more of that from Coach Dolan and Scott here, of some quick hitters. Easterling maybe get the ball out of his hands quickly, get a receiver or back, try and make a play. As it'll be second down and a short 4 here as they'll go back to Grant, push forward, but this time Chapmanville there, and it may have been Kovac who laid the wallop on that hit as he holds it to about a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, they were prepared for it that time. Nice cleanup at the end there. More physical play from the line. And if they're already controlling the line on both sides this early, you got to makes you wonder how it's going to progress throughout the game. When you get in that late third, early fourth quarter, the physicality is going to take effect.
Now it's a 3rd and 2 here for Scott. A much-needed first down for them if they can get it, as Easterling just tries to sneak it forward, and he didn't get there. Chapmanville bottles it up, and they hold him to maybe a yard on the play, and now you've got 4th and 1, Dwayne. What do you do if you're Scott?
Well, with that call, that makes me think they would go for it.
Yeah.
Myself, I would absolutely go for it, but that doesn't mean it's the right play. Coach Dolan knows what he's doing, but by making that call there on 3rd down, that tells me they are definitely going for it here on 4th.
I agree. I think they realize the moment is big right now, and they don't want to give the ball back to Chapmanville to try and go up by 3 scores at the end of the half if they can help it. But now you're going to get a timeout here.
It also makes it easier decision when you're having problems with special teams. We've seen a shank punt, we've seen a bad snap. So when you have those problems and you can't rely on right now, it makes it even more likely to go for it on 4th.
We'll step aside and be back here in about 30 seconds as you're watching high school football action on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
4th down and 1 for Scott, as it appears they will go for it here, trailing 13-0, and this could be a critical moment in this game. If Chapmanville's able to get a stop, Scott desperately needs this first down to try and get some momentum going in this game, as it's been all Chapmanville thus far. Easterling under center. They need the 45. They go with the counter near side, and Kovac slams the door shut as he brings him down for a 2-yard loss, and Chapmanville gets the ball back.
Another huge play by the Tigers that could swing this momentum even further in their direction. That's an interesting play call. Chapmanville has penetration all night. A very deep handoff, a little bit of slow developing play there. And Chapmanville was ready for it. That middle was clogged. They shot their gaps. Great cleanup by Kovac.
I know Dave Williamson and James Barker were excited down on the sideline. Fists are flying everywhere on that after the stop. And now they know they've got a great opportunity to try and put another touchdown or some more points on the board here with 4.5 to go. Quick hitter right to Benji Atkins. Here comes the big man inside the 25, down to the 21. And what a weapon that is, Dwain. It's such a quiet thing on this offense because some of the other weapons. But you get the ball to Benji Atkins, he's just going to get you big chunk yards if he gets a little bit of a head steam.
I personally think it's one of the biggest mismatches that this team has. You have a player with that size, that athletic ability, and a great play call there, and great ball handling by Dakota Dalton. Skyhawks are expecting another handoff to Kovac. What a play action, right down the middle to Benji. Fantastic play.
Well, Scott will burn their final time out. We'll step aside and be back right after this as you're watching high school football here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com, and all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Scott burns their third and final timeout of the first half. Chapmanville still with all three as we got 4 minutes and 20 seconds showing here in the second quarter. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. It's a 1st and 10 after the big catch and run by Benji Atkins. Now they go back to Kovac. He finds open space to the 10, the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown Chapmanville as he gets his first score of the season. And Chapmanville has taken control here with 4:13 to go in the second quarter, and they lead it 19-0.
We've seen him show the power. We've seen him show the agile feet in the background. There shows you the speed for the big man. Nice play call, running off tackle, and even the receivers down the field blocking along with that offensive line who keeps doing their job. Great play call there by the Tigers.
That did. That almost looked like a gutted Skyhawk defensive line that time as Chapmanville just fired off the ball. And Kovac had a huge lane to run through and takes it to the house as Farrell will tack on the extra point. And Chapmanville leads at 20-0 here in week 1 of the high school football season. We'll be back after this as you're watching high school football right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
20-0. Chapmanville now leads it as they set to kick off for the 4th time here in this half as they send it down deep to the 11-yard line, taken there. Nice burst of speed out across the 30, 35, still on his feet across the 40, out to about the 41, 42-yard line. Good return that time by the Skyhawks. Couldn't quite catch the number on the outside of who that was, but you can see now why Chapmanville's been trying different kickoffs here in the first half to keep the ball away from him.
Great return there, and exactly what the Skyhawks needed to get decent field position, because it is imperative they get a score here before the half to keep this game in contention. They're in a bit of a quote-unquote lucky spot that the score is not as bad as what it is, so such an important drive here for the Easterling and the Skyhawks.
Yeah, if nothing else, they have to find a way to not give this ball back to Chapmanville here with this much time still on the clock. They need to try and find a sustained drive here as they'll hand it off. And Chapmanville, it's like they were in the huddle with Scott that time. It's just nowhere to go for Grant, and it's Kovac and company once again breaking into the backfield. And that was just a party in the backfield for the Tigers as everyone got a chance for the tackle.
Looked like Porter, number 64 Porter, led the charge breaking that backfield. This defensive line, they have lived in Scott's backfield this entire game.
And that's the thing right now, if you're Scott, we kind of talked about it during the break, these longer handoffs, it's just giving Chapmanville so many chances and extra chances to break through and get into the backfield, because right there you get a 5-yard loss on what looked like just a lead handoff. So now on 2nd and 15, they'll work it outside this time over towards the Scott sideline, but Chapmanville runs east and west just as well as they do north and south as they shut that down, as Luke Williamson, the junior, may have picked up a couple of yards on the play, but it's going to be 3rd and long now.
Looks like we have a flag on the play. I think I saw some laundry on the field. Great pursuit angles there by the Tigers, like you said, going west to east, east to west there. So they strung that out and got another conference here on the field.
So let's see what Chapmanville looks to do. Again, if I was Chapmanville here, could be interesting. And this is a holding penalty, so this could back it up to 2nd and 25, but I like declining that there. Again, you got 3rd and about 15. I would just go ahead and take the down. I
agree. Scott hasn't proved that they can throw on this defense yet, so I would stay right there, and it looks like that's the call they made. I see 3rd down on the marker. I'm not sure what they did 100%, but I agree with you, kid, because they haven't shown that they can move the chains, and Chapmanville wants to get this ball back with more time on the clock.
Yes, they decline the penalty, and it'll be 3rd and 15 from their own 37-yard line. Still 2:50 as Chapmanville's not used a timeout yet. Easterling in the shotgun. 2 receivers up top, 1 to the bottom. Easterling has time this time. Heaves it deep down the left side. A man out there, but Ward, boy, what closing speed by Trey Ward. Almost baited that throw towards his side. It was on the money, but Ward got there in time to break it up.
That was the exact word I was going to use, Chris. I think he baited the whole entire time. He knew he could make up the space. He hung back just a second, and very fortunate for the Skyhawks that was not another interception.
It is going near Trey Ward is almost like going near Dion back in the day, or going at, Darrell Rivas. Darrell Green. It's just there's so much speed there that you have to account for that it's very tricky to figure out how to gauge whether your receiver's open or not.
What a weapon to have. He cuts the field in half just by being there.
So now Chapmanville gets it back, as it'll be Ward getting a chance this time from the 31. Look out. He gets to the outside, cuts back in, still pushing forward, breaks out of it somehow. Here comes Ward down the sidelines, and Trey Ward with the run of the week in week 1, and no flags down. This is why you do not give that man the football if you're Scott.
You might be wondering why we talked about him so early and about introducing himself to the viewers, to the crowd. That's why. I was about to say the Skyhawks did a great job of getting there, but he just kept his legs moving, and a lot of guys just kind of quit on that play, try to tackle high. You can't tackle him high. He's got the athleticism, he's got the speed, he's got the strength. This is you're going to see this, you're going to hear his name all season long, and what an absolute stud on the returning game.
That was unreal. Again,
a late flag.
Oh, this is a very late flag came in. Oh, wow. So this could wipe this out, and it will wipe this out. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. That was a highlight reel and a half for Trey Ward right there.
I did not see a flag on the field.
So that is the third flag of the half on Chapmanville, and this is another touchdown Chapmanville's had called back. Again, the other one, Kovac, we thought was not down when the officials whistled him down, and he scored, but the officials brought it back, and then Chapmanville turned it over 2 plays later. Well, right here, touchdown score for Ward gets wiped out, and Chapmanville still has the ball.
Going to give a shout out to some of our viewers. It seems like we have viewers from Bangor, Maine, Australia, all across the country. We appreciate all you guys. And I see a question here: when the last time Chapmanville beat Scott? It's been a bit. So Tigers look to turn it around.
Look, give it to Kovac on first down as he took a shot from about 3 or 4 Skyhawks before he finally goes down. As we close in on 2 minutes to go in the first half. Again, Chapmanville still with all 3 timeouts, so they've got plenty of time here.
Scott still playing physical. They're tired of Kovac getting that ball. Nice gang tackle there and finished that off very physical.
Now Dalton fakes, looks to throw, has plenty of time to the outside, but too tall for Benji Atkins that time. And it'll bring up third down and about 6 here for Chapmanville.
Just a bit too tall for Atkins. Nice design there. Benji gets behind the linebacker, just a bit outside there for Dalton.
Now let's see where Chapmanville elects to go here on third down and 6. And again, they're in an interesting part of the field. And I'd say if they don't convert here, you'll probably see them elect a punt with 1:47 left in the half. But let's see what happens as Dalton goes downfield. Had a man there, but incomplete, as he tried to find number 18 down the middle of the field, as Easton Bender was able to get open for a moment, but a tough throw, and that'll bring up 4th and 6.
Right down the hash. I thought it was complete when that ball left his hand. So Scott really dodged a bullet there. So they got to make something happen, whether it's through special teams. They need to get a turnover. They need something to happen here in this last minute 40 to go in at halftime with something positive. They need something.
Now Chapmanville is going to use their first timeout with 1:41 to go here in the half, so we'll step aside. Be back right after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Chapmanville set to kick it away here on 4th and 6. High snap. McClanahan able to get it. Gets away a good punt. End over end. That's going to take a huge hop inside the 20, the 10, the 5, all the way down to the 1-yard line. What a punt by McClanahan. And Scott now is trapped in jail down at their own 2.
Special teams showing up again for the Tigers and problems for the Skyhawks. McClanahan, a very highly touted young kicker. Great angle on that kick. They decide to let it roll. Great hustle by the coverage team. Another play by the special teams by the Tigers. Exactly what you did not want if you're a Skyhawks fan.
Yes, and now you're in danger here. Scott has no timeouts left. Chapmanville has 2 remaining with 1.5 minutes to go here. So Scott's got to be very careful in this position. Again, still just a 3-score game, even though it's had the potential to be a lot worse so far. Scott trying to find something to go into halftime with and try and build some momentum. And on first down, they give it off and able to break out across the 5, close to the 9-yard line on that carry is Grant. So there's a big play to help get them out of trouble.
Exactly the type of play you would expect there. They haven't shown the ability to pass yet in this game, so you don't want to compound this score right now. You don't want to have a pick six. You don't want to have just any kind of thing, any bad thing happening, so I expect to see the same here as well.
Easterling on second down, hands it off up the middle. Ball comes out. And let's see, Chapmanville's pointing. They have it. They seem very certain that they have it. The officials give it to Chapmanville, and they force a huge turnover with 56 seconds to go here in the half.
And right on cue, you got to take care of the ball. You can't take a risk. You got to think about even just a quarterback sneak there, getting down, run this clock. I didn't see who made the play there, but the Chapmanville player that got in there just ripped that ball away at the end.
This could be back-breaking right here if you're the Skyhawks. If they go down by 4 scores right here, that could really be a tough, tough hill for them to try and climb in the second half with the way Chapmanville's played so far. As Dalton will be in the shotgun. And still 2 timeouts for Chapmanville. They'll give it off to Kovac. Here he comes left side. Gets around one man and is tripped up just inside the 5 as he might have the first down. So they'll stop the clock momentarily here.
62, Levi Hurley with a fantastic pancake block there just to open that up. And you got to start watching the body language of the Skyhawks. Let's see how they handle this. I'm already seeing some hands on hips. You don't want to see those heads drop. So I'm going to put my body language doctor hat on for a second and see how they respond to this, because this could get out of hand.
Now here is first and goal and stoppage as we get a flag down. So this will likely be against Chapmanville, and this will back them up 5 yards. I said if Chapmanville had taken the gun out of their hands a couple of times here in the first half, this would probably already be in the high 30s, if not 40s right now for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a few plays here and there, just a few hiccups that's really kept this game a game at this point.
Well, now Chapmanville will burn their second timeout, so we'll keep things here as they talk about their first and goal play with 34 seconds to go in the half. Well, we'd like to invite everybody here on D&D Sports Network with us on Facebook and scan the QR code on your screen right now, and you can also join us on YouTube for our broadcast here from Barker Stadium here tonight. So again, if you want to scan that code that you see on your screen right now, you can also join us on YouTube as well as Facebook here this evening for week 1 of this high school football season.
So it's always great to have that second option for more viewers. The stands are packed here, but we're also really proud to bring you this opportunity to view this from the comfort of your home.
Well, we'd also like to thank here tonight all the people helping us bring you this ball game from Chapmanville, West Virginia. 304 Motorsports, Danville Pharmacy, Handley Funeral Home, Trend Services, Blessings and Blooms, Domino Printing, Lucky Dog Thrift, Farrell and Hill Insurance, Diamond Flagging Company, J&J Mobile Detailing, PT12, and LB&T Banking. We appreciate you for helping us bring week 1 of Chapmanville and Scott to you here on D&D Sports. Now it'll be first and goal for Chapmanville. 34.9 seconds to go. They have 1 timeout left. They give it to Kovac out of the shotgun. Huge hole, and Kovac goes in for the second time tonight.
The same exact play that he scored previously, off tackle. They see something they want, and on the sidelines, Toppings is lifting up Kovac there in a nice celebration. Toppings been laying people down on the offense and defense side of the ball. He still had enough strength there to lift Kovac to the stars.
that was a good, almost Dirty Dancing lift there from Jackson Topping. He got Kovac high in the air that time. That was a good recreation by those guys.
He pulled a Swayze.
What's funny, you should probably bring it up to those guys. They'd be like, who? What?
No clue.
I'd be like, just get away from me. As Farrell puts the extra point up and through, and it is a 27-0 lead for Chapmanville with 29 seconds left in the half. We'll be back right after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Call Restoration One, West Virginia's go-to cleanup crew. Don't let fire, wind, water damage ruin your property. Restoration One can get you back to 100% in the quickest time possible. Our staff here at Restoration One is fast, friendly, and reliable. We got experts that use the latest in technology to remove mold and damages left behind by Mother Nature. Don't just trust anyone. Trust Restoration One.
27-0, Chapmanville in control here from Barker Stadium as they are routing their Corridor G rivals here in week one with still 29.3 seconds left in the half. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. As McClanahan will boot it away. After a good punt, really set up this touchdown last time. Again, he pinned Scott at the 2-yard line, and then Chapmanville forced the turnover, and the score comes a few plays later. There's a squib kick, and Grant brings it out to about the 44-yard line with 26.5 seconds left. So no timeouts for Scott, one for Chapmanville. But if you're Scott, you kind of just want to get this half over with, but I don't really think you can ignore getting the ball at the 43 here and maybe trying something. At
this point, you have to. The previous drive, that would have been a time just to get out of Dodge, get out of here. But now, do you take a shot? Do you take a knee? They're down 4 scores. A little bit lucky not to be down more. So still a decision to make here.
Now here come the Skyhawks. Let's see what they elect to try and do here. They will spread couple receivers out here.
Looks like they're going to head into the half if I had to guess, Chris.
Yeah, it looks that way. Again, Easterling will get under center, and they will call the half after Chapmanville. What an opening statement here in the opening 24 minutes of this high school football season as they lead at 27-0 over the Skyhawks, heading to the locker room as they dance off the field, and Scott trying to find a way to regroup here in the second half as they will receive the second half kickoff here from Barker Stadium. Well, Dwayne and I are going to step aside, and we'll be back with our halftime report, along with some scores from around the state of West Virginia coming your way after this break as you are watching high school football action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the D&D Sports Network. Chris Kidd with you as we are at halftime with Chapmanville leading it 27-0 over their rivals from Scott. As Chapmanville scored on their opening drive from 90 yards out. Jeremy Collins took it in from 12 yards for a touchdown. Chapmanville able to score after fumbling twice inside the red zone and put another on the board with Collins this time rushing in from inside the 10-yard line. Chapmanville once again able to score. This time Preston Kovac, who's had a huge first half for the Tigers, able to break it to the left side of the end zone in the second quarter to give Chapmanville a 20-0 lead. And then after a late Scott fumble with under a minute to go in the half, Chapmanville able to strike again on another touchdown run by Kovac, and they lead it 27-0 here at intermission. We'll step aside and be back again after this with some scores from around the state of West Virginia here in week 1 of the high school football season as you're listening to high school football action on the D&D Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you. JJ Pruitt, our engineer, with Dwayne Williams, our color commentator, as you are listening in to the Rebound Physical Therapy halftime show here on the D&D Sports Network. As Chapmanville Band down on the field performing right now. The Scott Band put on an excellent performance themselves moments ago. And right now we're going to run through some scores from around the state of West Virginia. We'll start in 4A. Again, Bridgeport leading 48-7 at half over Buckhant Upshur at the moment. No score with Hurricane and George Rogers, Kentucky at the moment. GW leading Spring Valley 27-7. Actually, that is now final for GW. Spring Mills leading Jefferson 14-0 at half. Martinsburg trailing at 20-0 against Camden, New Jersey right now at halftime. Morgantown 44-7 winners over Parkersburg in the Kickoff Classic. 19-7 University leading Musselman at the half. Nicholas County 17-14 over Oak Hill at halftime. Huntington and Oakland, Tennessee scoreless. Or actually, they will play tomorrow night now, as Greenbrier East and Riverside deadlocked at 7. Willing Park and Parkersburg South. Willing Park 7, Parkersburg South nothing in the Metro News 4A game of the week. Woodrow Wilson leading Washington 20-6 at the moment. Switching over to AAA, looking through some of the scores. Princeton leading Capital 7-0 in the second quarter. Point Pleasant trailing 20-0 against Fairland, Ohio at the moment. Go down Grafton and Philip Barber, scoreless at the moment. Hampshire and Preston tied at 7. John Marshall and Marietta, Ohio, 7-7 at the moment. It's Robert C. Byrd, winner over Lewis County, 41-19. Shady Spring, 13-0 in the second quarter over St. Albans. And Winfield dominating Lincoln County, 49-0 at halftime. Then you switch over here into AA. Bluefield leading 7-0 over Graham, Virginia. Williamstown and James Monroe, they'll play on Saturday. Again, Chapmanville will be in Williamstown in a couple of weeks. Polka leading 20-0 over Buffalo in the second quarter. Midland Trail 14-0 over Clay County in the second quarter. Independence winning a shootout over Herbert Hoover, 37-34 last night. What a game that was. Doddridge County 34, Liberty Raleigh nothing at halftime. Elkins 35, Lincoln 7 at the half. Frankfort leading Moorfield 14-3. Petersburg dominating Berkeley Springs 39-0 in the first quarter. South Harrison leading 21-15 over Braxton County. Greenbrier West and Roane County will play tomorrow. Pikeview and Summers County 22-0 in the first quarter for Pikeview. Tulsa and Wayne leading Tulsa 26-0 at halftime. Oak Glen 32, Weir 14, a final from last night. Westside 38-6 over Wyoming East at halftime. And then our final look here in single A, Clay Battelle and Cameron 8-6 at the half in favor of Clay Battelle. Calhoun County leading Gilmer 24-14. Logan leading Man 6-0 in a defensive slugfest up at Man right now. Van and Meadowbridge scoreless in the first. Riverview and Mount View 22-0 Riverview over Mount View in the second quarter. Kaiser and Pendleton are scoreless. Tucker and Pocahontas, no score update from them yet. Ritchie County leading Tyler Consolidated 8-6. And St. Mary's leading Ravenswood 7-0. And then Mingo Central winning last night over Tug Valley 35-30 in the Battle of Mingo County, as that was a heck of a game last night. And Wheeling Central leading Union Local Ohio 17-13 at the half. But yeah, that was a great game last night between Tug Valley and Mingo Central, Dwayne, as that was just a back and forth big scoring game between both sides.
Another example of an early season rivalry game. You could tell the atmosphere was lit on even on the broadcast. You could feel the crowd. And when anytime a rivalry game comes down to the last play of the game, with fans going nuts, there might be a flag, there might not be. All that intensity, you love to see it early on. A big win for the Miners and Coach David Jones.
And here at halftime, 27-0, Chapmanville leading over Scott. And again, here in the first half, we talked about it could be a much bigger score right now for Chapmanville. They had 2 touchdowns that were called back. They had 2 turnovers inside the 20-yard line, and yet they still put up 27 points, and Scott still with just 1 first down so far here in this game. And, it's just been tough sledding for the Skyhawks to find time for Easterling to throw, and even where he has, you're dealing with a very tough secondary for Chapmanville. Whenever they've tried extended running plays, Chapmanville's just been able to barrel into the backfield. It's been really tough for the Skyhawks to try and find something that can work against the Tigers so far.
And you have to imagine the locker room at halftime for the Skyhawks. They have to find something to bring some positivity out. They're not going to quit. They've owned this rivalry for quite a bit now.
Yeah.
So they got to be reminding their players of that. They got to say just what you pointed out is it could be a lot worse. The special teams have been a disaster for Scott and a plus for the Tigers. The Tigers could have way more points, but they've made up for that, and the reason they have this 4-touchdown lead is through their special teams to go along with those playmakers they have. Scott has shown no ability to stop the run. They haven't shown the ability to move the ball through the air, and being down four scores in the second half, they're going to have to rely on Easterling at some point.
Yeah, they get the ball to start the second half, but 2 turnovers apiece here in the first half, and then you had the bad snap that went over the head of the punter for Scott that set up another touchdown for Chapmanville inside the 15-yard line. So, again, we've seen our fair share of miscues so far here in the first half on both sides, but it's not been as bad as we normally see thus far. Again, I knock on wood for the second half, but Chapmanville 4 penalties in the first half, 3 against Scott thus far. But if you're Chapmanville coming out here in the second half, again, you still see they come out of the locker room now with about the same exuberance they went into the locker room with. What do they need to be careful about here in the second half, or is there anything they need to think carefully about in the second half?
Well, as we saw in the first half how quick things can get out of hand, they have to focus because Scott can get back in this game. Chapmanville, they have to avoid any kind of miscues, any type of quick scores that they give up to Scott. So I'm sure the coaches are looking at them. We're going to play this game 0-0, especially in rivalry games. You don't take anything for granted. This group of seniors, they have not beat the Skyhawks, so you know that's on the top of their mind, but they can't relax. You can't relax in any game, especially in a rivalry game. So I imagine that was the message, and you do see their intensity coming out. It's whether or not they can keep that up the entire half, and I'm really anxious to see if Scott made any adjustments to their offense especially. That sounds a bit cliche as halftime adjustments, but I can assure you this halftime had to allow for that, just the way this game is played out.
Right now, both teams back on the field, warming up, getting ready for the start of the second half. We'll step aside for a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the start of the second half as you are listening to the Rebound Physical Therapy Halftime Report right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Barker Stadium in Chapmanville, West Virginia. Chris Kidd here with you, Dwayne Williams alongside of me, and J.J. Pruitt, our engineer, as we are getting set for the third quarter. Brought to you by Giovanni's of Danville here on the D&D Sports Network. And you see the Skyhawks get the ball first, and can they find any explosiveness here to try and claw their way back into this contest, as Chapmanville has dominated play for 24 minutes thus far?
I think this first drive is going to be very telling what we're going to see the rest of this second half, because they had a moment to regroup in the locker room, get a game plan together. This first drive is, I think, going to be a good indication of how the rest of the game is going to play out.
Now Chapmanville, a little squibber rushing in. Ball's loose on the ground. Chapmanville dives for it, and it looked like Chapmanville has it, and they do.
And if that's any indication, the Tigers will continue the dominance. Another special team play. What a call by the special team there from the Tigers. Perfectly executed kick there. Skyhawks were not ready to secure the ball. Tigers pounce on it.
You could tell as soon as Chapmanville took off on that, it was going to be a quick little onside kick. And I was thinking to myself, if there's one bobble, this is going to be trouble for Scott. And sure enough, Chapmanville comes out and recovers right away. And now they go back to work on offense. This ground game has just been lethal here tonight for the Tigers. 2 touchdowns apiece for Collins and for Kovac, as Dalton avoids pressure, almost sacked, hit in the backfield, and this time is brought down as Grant didn't give up on the play and was able to catch him by his shoelaces before Dalton escaped.
Number 50, Thomas Chris was in the backfield. A little bit reminiscent of Micah Parsons there, but missed the tackle. Good sidestep there by Dalton to make a little bit of positivity out of that, but very, very close. You'd love to see the intensity, and nice defensive play call there by the Skyhawks.
Boy, I wonder why this Green Bay Packer fan next to me brought up Micah Parsons out of nowhere, huh? As Dalton on second down, throw a little behind his receiver and incomplete, trying to find Ward. So it'll be 3rd and long now. But, I'm surprised you didn't have already a Parsons Packer jersey on you coming up here tonight. I know that's got to be in the mail somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I tried, Chris. A little bit too busy. Had to throw that out there for a few of our fans on D&D tonight. So at least I did wait till the second half. For
you Dallas fans out there, I apologize. It's been a tough 6 months for that area. And, I wish I knew what to tell you, but my dad's a Packers fan, so I was happy for him. So now 3rd and 15. Dalton looks down the middle of the field and almost able to hook up with Benji Atkins. That was good defense that time, as running with him the entire way was number 17, Brown. And they force a 3-and-out for Chapmanville. So good response by Scott on defense after that onside kick recovery, and they get the only 3-and-out they've had thus far this evening.
Yeah, nice response there by the Skyhawk defense. Maybe Chapmanville's trying to catch them off guard there, throwing on first down. They haven't done that very much. And Dalton once again looking Benji Atkins' way, but great stand by there by the Skyhawks, especially after that onside kick recovery by Chapmanville.
It'll be McClanahan back to punt. He had a superb punt from about this spot in the second quarter as he pinned Scott back at the 2-yard line. This is a bad snap, but McClanahan, boy, what a job by him to keep his composure and get that kick away, and he gets away a pretty good kick as it goes out at about the 20-yard line.
Fantastic play by McClanahan. The sophomore really kept his composure there, because that's the type of play that the Skyhawks need. Fortunately for the Tigers, the Skyhawks didn't have a great rush there. They weren't too close, but just the fact to grab that ball and still get off a fantastic kick. We've spoke about it a lot this evening, about the special teams play, and that's a highlight for this Tigers defense. I mean, this Tigers team as a whole, their special teams unit have showed up in a big way tonight.
Again, the bad snap for Scott in the first half on a punt cost them 7 points. This one, Chapmanville able to escape and put Scott back at the 20-yard line to begin their now first drive of the half, after they were receiving the second half kickoff. As Easterling will hand it off the left side, pushing forward, close to the 25-yard line. Nice little play on first down as Grant picks up the yardage. And Scott trying to establish the ground game and trying to establish the line of scrimmage a little bit better here at the start of the third quarter.
They're still staying within their game plan. They're not panicking at this point. That another example of a quick hitter. Looked like Austin Killen was in there at first with Jackson Topping cleaning up, but the quick hitters seem to be having a little bit more success, not great success, but definitely more success than the slower developing plays in the backfield.
So just something to slow down that rush for Chapmanville is going to give Easterling a little extra time to maybe try and make something happen, but now we get a flag down, and this likely could be against the Skyhawks, and it will be as they point in their direction, and there's another false start infraction against Scott.
A procedural penalty is not what you need at this point. You've got to get this thing moving. At some point, the clock really becomes your biggest enemy, and they've got to get this drive rolling. And that they're shooting yourself in the foot at this point is very detrimental to the Skyhawks.
So now that wipes out essentially the run by Grant a moment ago, as the 5 yards he got are now all the way back at the 20-yard line. And those little things right there, again, it's just a 5-yard penalty, but that's just so demoralizing. And you have a nice little run, and then it's just gone in the blink of an eye. But Scott's got to hurry here. They're up against the play clock. They just get it off. Easterling trying to block on the outside. Now the ball comes out again, and Chapmanville looks like they've recovered again. Let's see if they point in the Tigers' direction or not. And now they do. Another turnover for the Skyhawks, and Chapmanville once again has the ball in prime real estate.
I couldn't see if that was Ethan Dingus or Jackson Topping. I saw the 5 on the jersey, so I apologize for not getting that call, but what a hustle play there. Number 3 for Scott, Ryan Neal, made a good run there, but just another example of how the Tigers and their pursuit on defense have been really top-notch this evening.
And right now, if you're Coach Dolan and the Skyhawks, it's going to be a tough film session when they come back after the weekend, unless things start to change here in a hurry. But now Dalton and the Tigers set up at the 28-yard line of Scott. They give it off to Kovac. Workhorse again plowing forward, breaks free inside the 15, breaks a tackle, and Kovac breaks into the end zone for the 3rd time today. Another Tiger touchdown.
Another run off that left side. Dawson Aggins and company's really shoring that up. Just over and over again. You see a few attempted tackles come in there trying to go high. You can't go high on this man.
No, absolutely not. If you try and go high on Preston Kovac, good luck is all I have to say. Again, that kid is broad, he is big, his legs are huge. It is too tough to try and get that kid on the ground tackling him straight up.
Just absolutely no answer for that play, or in the entire run game in general. Just no answer from the Skyhawks there. You got to be expecting run. You got a big lead. You know they're going to bleed the clock, and still, fantastic touchdown run by Kovac.
Now Farrell on the extra point, a high snap. Nice job getting that down. Dalton able to secure that after the high snap, and it is now 34-0 in favor of Chapmanville. We'll be back after this as you're watching high school football action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Call Restoration One, West Virginia's go-to cleanup crew. Don't let fire, wind, water damage ruin your property. Restoration One can get you back to 100% in the quickest time possible. Our staff here at Restoration One is fast, friendly, and reliable. We got experts that use the latest in technology to remove mold and damages left behind by Mother Nature. Don't just trust anyone. Trust Restoration One. If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Preston Kovac, his 3rd touchdown run of the evening. It's now 34-0 Tiger lead. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt alongside me as good coverage by the Tigers as we're able to spin Sharps down just past the 20-yard line. And Scott will open up there as his 3rd quarter being brought to you in part by Rebound Physical Therapy here in Chapmanville, West Virginia. So we want to thank all of our sponsors once again for helping us bring you all the action here on D&D Sports.
You got to wonder if we're going to see some of the passing game. Even the formations were still the last drive. You only had one wide receiver split out. You got to wonder if Scott's going to show in the playbook or what approach they're going to take this season as far as throwing the ball.
Because right now, Chapmanville's just got their ears pinned back, whether it's a run or a pass, it feels like. It's this quick hitter's been the best offensive play that Scott has had here tonight, and it's mostly been Grant getting that carry right up the gut. And they've been able to churn about 5-6 yards out of that almost every time they've ran it.
Yeah, he's such a hard-nosed runner. He finishes runs strong. He's getting gang tackled every single play. So a very tough run once again. That's by far been their most successful play tonight.
Skyhawks come to the line of scrimmage under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Easterling will hand it off to Brown. Brown tries to fight forward, but he's pushed back after about a 1-yard pickup. This ball comes flying out of the pile after the fact. I was wondering if the official maybe thought there was a fumble at first the way he was running in there.
Cooper Perry getting in there on the action to clean up that tackle. You go down the list of this roster, Chapmanville does have a lot of senior leadership on this team, but for example, the sophomore and junior class very strong for the Tigers this year.
Yes. Again, this is becoming a very deep roster for Chapmanville very quickly, not just in the senior side, but also in the lower class. They give it off here on third down, and once again, Chapmanville there to make the stop. As no yards on the play, maybe a little bit of a loss back inside the 30-yard line, and it's going to be fourth down.
Looked like Sawyer Dalton doing his best Bobby Boucher impersonation there, just firing off through that line and cleaning up. And we saw what an impact Sawyer made last week with a fantastic run and interception on defense. So he's showing up again in the first official game of the season.
Yeah, again, I thought he was very impressive last week in those scrimmages for Chapmanville in both games. And when I looked at the sheet and I saw he was just a freshman, I went, are you serious? So this is going to be a kid, I could see him almost in the mold of an Eli Pridemore graduated last year. This spiraling kick will land at about the 35. Atkins will let it roll as it'll go down inside close to the 25 and it'll die there. So Chapmanville will take over there with 7:15 to go in the third quarter. But we'd like to thank all of our sponsors here tonight, helping us bring you Chapmanville and Scott here in week 1. 304 Motorsports, Danville Pharmacy, Hanley Funeral Home, Trend Services, Blessings and Blooms, Domino Printing, Lucky Dog Thrift, Farrell and Hill Insurance, Diamond Flagging Company, J&J Mobile Detailing, PT12, and LB&T Banking. Thank you for helping us bring you all this Chapmanville and Scott football action from Barker Stadium in week 1 of the high school football season. So now Chapmanville will open up 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. 7:15 to go here in the third quarter. Will take the snap from shotgun, looks for the home run ball downfield for Ward, and just barely out of his reach. And man, you saw the speed of Trey Ward right there. He nearly ran that ball down, and Dalton put it out there where only he was going to get it, and those two almost hooked up, but now Ward looks like he may be cramping coming off the field.
Exactly, Chris. What an anticipation throw by Dalton. Put it where only Ward could get it. That ball's out there before Ward's even behind the cornerback. He turns on the jets, and let's just hope this is a case of a cramp here.
Yeah, they immediately go to lift his leg and try and work that cramp out. Again, you knew you were going to see it tonight. It was just a matter of when. And usually around this point whenever we start seeing the cramps set in for week 1 as they pitch it outside. Nice little cut. Collins stays on his feet across the 35, and he's slung down close to the 39-yard line. Great run again by Jeremy Collins. He's touched the ball 4 times tonight, Dwain, and all 4 times it's been something really positive, twice for touchdowns.
Yeah, he's definitely made the most of all of his opportunities. The first time we've seen a traditional toss play from the Tigers, great run there by Collins, but what I noticed was how far Benji Atkins was down the field. He was on the left side of there, across the field, down there leading the block, 15 yards down the field. The game looks to be somewhat in hand, but it's good to see players still fighting hard each and every play.
Yeah, again, you got Benji out there. He's like a Gronk, you know, and not only can he catch and carry people on the passing downs, he loves to get in there and block too, like Gronk did. Collins once again to the outside, stays inbounds up the left sideline, and Jeremy Collins once again a first down, a strong run of 16 yards.
We go a toss to the right, this time a toss to the left. A nice pulling lead block there by David Browning, getting out there in front. And when you get the offensive line in such a groove and you have these skill players, these skill position players behind that, that is a lethal combination.
Right now, this offensive line is just winning and winning and winning. And, you know, I've been on that defensive line in these situations where you're just having a tough day. You can't get anything going. And it's hard to want to keep fighting when you're just getting leaned on all day long as that ball comes down. But now we get whistles as flag before the play. And then Dalton took a shot from Brown. Chapmanville was wanting a call on that on the sideline but won't get it.
They blew that dead. Did they call that incomplete? It looks like it was.
Yeah, actually, it looks as if they did.
That looked like just a lot of miscommunication in the backfield, a fake, a jet sweep, a handoff. Something didn't go right, but the refs were very quick to blow that one dead.
So it will be 2nd and 10 from the Scott 45, 6:29 to go here in the third quarter. Dalton will operate out of the shotgun. Looks, hands it off. Collins gets the carry again. He'll squirt forward for a couple of yards down to the 43. And I guess that's the only area really tonight that you're still looking to get on sync is the passing game for Chapmanville. Again, it's been close tonight. Again, they've had open men here tonight, and they've had a couple of balls that have just been out of reach here or there, but it's not been far off. So if you get that passing game cooking like it's running game, this offense can be lethal.
Oh, absolutely. That, like you said, that's the only thing you can really point out right now. They might take this opportunity with a large lead to still work on that in game time.
Oh, yeah. And again, Dalton, one of the super sophomores on this roster, takes a look back to the sideline here. It's 5:45 and ticking as we're going to get a timeout here by Chapmanville with 5:44 left in the third. We'll step aside and be back after this as you're watching high school football right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com, and all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
Third down and 8 here for Chapmanville as they use the first time out of the half. Low snap. Dalton just has to fall on it as Ward back in after some cramping issues earlier, and now Chapmanville will punt it away. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams with you, along with J.J. Pruitt, our engineer tonight, as you are joining us here in this third quarter, brought to you by Giovanni's of Danville. And we appreciate all of our help here tonight from all of our sponsors on D&D Sports. So Chapmanville will punt it away here as McClanahan this time gets a clean snap and kick, but this time shank kick comes off his foot over to the left side. And they will mark it at about the 23-yard line, but McClanahan didn't want to give a chance for a return there. And you want to make Scott drive the field, if nothing else. I mean, don't give up a big play, so smart move by Chapmanville.
Absolutely, Chris. You want to give them the longest field, eat that clock, take more time, keep playing that defense you're doing because you're limited to them. Their best play right now is a 4-yard quick hitter. So why not use that to your advantage? Chapmanville definitely wants to clean up some of those timing issues, and that might be why they're running specific plays to work on that. So let's see if Scott can capitalize on getting the ball back.
Easterling on first down. Quick throw to the outside, and they're going to say incomplete. It was almost in between on that, but they say it was trapped on the far side.
Looked like Cooper Perry out there again, reading that wide receiver screen and just making it very difficult for the quarterback and the wide receiver. Another nice play by Perry.
And right there, it seemed like Easterling just tried to get rid of that quickly. I don't know if he quite caught that on the laces whenever that came back to him, but that was a good show of what that rush for Chapmanville has been able to do by pressuring him. Well, now we have a Skyhawk down on the field. So while they attend to him, we'll step aside and be back right after this as you're watching high school football action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Woodrum was the man that was being helped off the field for the Skyhawks as we're back. Low snap. Easterling has to go back and get it. Now just heaves it downfield and somehow caught down the left sideline. Here he comes at the 40, the 35, the 30. Nice cut back inside and spun down at the 11-yard line, or the 20-yard line, is Perry. As what a job by Easterling, keeping his composure on a bad snap and then threw a dart right to Perry.
He definitely kept his composure there. Looked to take his eye off the snap for just a beat, but kept his eyes downfield, rolled to his left, tough throw for a right-handed quarterback, and cutting across very close to another receiver was a nice catch and run, exactly what the Skyhawks need. And you see substitutions being made very quickly by the Tigers to get some players back in there immediately, try to put a stop to this drive. Nice play by Easterling.
Yeah, because Chapmanville's been subbing in and out a little bit more here with this 34-0 lead, but there you just saw a mass substitution for the Tigers as the ball spotted at the 19-yard line. So first trip into the red zone of Chapmanville here tonight for the Skyhawks as Easterling can't find anyone to his left, scrambles to his right, heaves towards the sideline and just gets rid of it wisely.
Nice play there by Easterling. Nothing developing. He has to, once again, pushed out of the pocket, being sped up by this Tigers defense. Didn't want to compound anything. They're down here near the red zone, so nice play. Sometimes that play is just to throw the ball away and live to fight another down.
Yeah, because there's nothing appetizing about it. There's nothing pleasing to the eye about it, but that's whenever you know you've got a veteran quarterback or a smart quarterback. They don't try and force something where you can have another turnover. Live to fight another day. And I think that's one of the best things you see out of good quarterbacks. It's just the ability to know when you're beat on the play and just give up on it and get to the next down.
Exactly.
Easterling on 2nd and 10, drops to throw, swings it out near side to Brown. He's met head on right about at the marker as he falls forward. He'll get a couple of yards out of that and big collision, and it'll be 3rd down now for the Skyhawks. Fall under 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Again, we'll try and get you an update on Logan and Mann and a few others as we come down the home stretch here tonight. Again, last check-in on the Logan score, it was 6-0, Logan over Mann. And as of right now, that is where Metro News still has it, 6-0 at halftime for Logan. Easterling now on 3rd and 8, gets the snap, rolls out, heaves one up towards the end zone for Perry, overshot it and may have been intercepted, and it was in the back of the end zone. Again, Perry was there, but another interception for Chapmanville as they force their 4th turnover of the evening.
Just an example of a forced throw, trying to make something happen. He throws it up for grabs into double coverage, and the Tigers come down with it. I can't see who made that from my angle, who came down with that. There was 2 Tigers in the area.
See, they announced Trey Ward initially, but it may be cramps down there again. If that is Ward, that's his 2nd interception of the night and his 2nd bout of cramps on the night. But we'll step aside for a quick break and be back after this as you're watching high school football action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams with you. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer, as 34-0 Chapmanville leads it with 3:23 to go here in the third quarter. As Trey Ward was the man with the interception. He's also getting his cramps worked out there on the sidelines right now, but what a game he's had here tonight. And doing this against second-team All-State quarterback. Hand it off here on first down, rushing near side, trying to break free. Not a whole lot of real estate out there as you start to get some new numbers and faces in for Chapmanville right now, as that appeared to be Braden Strange. Unless I didn't see correctly, was that an 8 or a 0? It was either Strange or Bender.
That might have been Bender. That time we had Dawson Agins with the pull, around and leading again, and I think that's the second time they've given Bender a chance to run the ball. We saw that a few times in the scrimmage, so they're getting some freshmen some look already in this game.
Now they bring Kovac back in. Again, he wasn't in on the last series, and now another bad snap. Kovac picks it up and falls forward, and you know that's going to be something that's going to be worked on in practice next week for both teams. Again, we've seen a lot of bad snaps on both sides here tonight and some difficulty fielding snaps. So that's another one of those little things, though, Dwayne, that you got to get cleaned up for both sides.
Yeah, I think they made a switch at halftime with the center. We've seen a couple of bad snaps here, some exchanges, some timing issues. But that's what you got to get these guys and throw them out to the fire. They know they can do it. I know they have a bit of a two-headed center position they can go with right now. So I think they're giving Robinson some snaps. So let's see if he can clean this up, which they know he has the talent to do.
Yeah, because I just saw Topping. He's over on right guard right now for Chapmanville, and now a flag comes in, and this will be against Chapmanville. So that'll be the 5th penalty of the night against Chapmanville.
This just goes to show you that even with a large lead, coaches still have things to work on.
Yes.
They still have to coach. There's a lot of time left. This is stuff they're not looking ahead to next week. They're not looking past this game, but they do have the opportunity to work on some things right now.
Yeah, you really can't stop coaching in football. I mean, if you do, I mean, it's the same as if you start just not playing hard. I mean, you're going to get hurt or you're going to put your team in a really bad spot. So every down's critical. As Dalton rolls out, fires deep downfield and going to be intercepted as Perry was able to cut in front of his intended receiver, and he makes the pick, and Scott forces their 3rd turnover of the night right back.
Definitely what Scott needed there to keep their momentum, keep their composure, and a little bit of confidence. Robinson at center did a good job there to snap that ball back there. I think Dalton kind of forced that one. Maybe didn't put enough on, a little bit underthrown, but a nice play there by Sharps to at least get the offense back on the field and see if they can get something positive to take along the season moving forward.
We're down to a minute 27 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Chapmanville with the only touchdown thus far here in the second half on Kovac's 3rd of the evening. And now the Skyhawks will get it at their own 40-yard line after the interception. Chapmanville showing pressure. Ball comes loose as the exchange wasn't quite there. And let's see who's got it. Chapmanville says they've got it as they start dancing again. And there is the 5th turnover of the evening for Scott, as it's just been one after another for the Skyhawks.
Keegan Craddock with a recovery, another sophomore making a play. That sophomore class is showing up big once again for the Tigers, and just that penetration by the defense. It's speeding up the Skyhawks. It's speeding up the handoff, the snap, the movement by the quarterback. So just another example of that, and yet another turnover.
Yeah, that was a well-timed jump of the snap right there up the middle that time that really just disrupted everything. It never allowed that play to really get going for Scott.
It happened so fast, I didn't even catch the number of the guy who
initially
initially caused that. He was back there so so fast, so I apologize for not calling you out, but great play on that play.
Now a minute 20 to go here as both teams have turned the ball over 3 times here in the last couple of minutes. And Dalton and company will go back to work here. 1st and 10 at the Scott 32-yard line. As Dalton drops to throw, fires over the middle. Benji Atkins was wide open, but just overshot him as Dalton, frustrated with himself, and slaps his helmet. And that'll be 2nd and 10 now.
Now, you'd love to see that from a quarterback. You know, I like to see that fire. He's back there. He's chastising himself. He's getting himself, you know, kind of some punishment there. Never looking to receiver, you know, to blame him. But like you said earlier, just a bit off. The play was there. Wasn't too bad of a throw, just maybe a timing issue. But Dalton knows he needs to fix that. That's what you want to see from a young quarterback.
2nd and 10. Dalton, quick throw to the outside, able to complete this as Austin Atkins works his way forward, squirms his way down, close to a 1st down, and may in fact have it.
And you like to see that by Dalton. Immediately after that play, he's disappointed in himself. He raises up, throws a quick out to Austin Atkins, getting him involved now, and just to get back in rhythm. Good play call and good completion there from Dalton to Atkins.
And I like that play call a lot, whether it's to Atkins or to Ward. But now we get a holding call that comes in. Flag came down on the far side of the field. So this could be a spot foul. Let's see where they mark it off at.
And you can see on the sideline some of the coaching going on. They don't like all of these mistakes that we're having in the second half. It don't matter what the score says right now. I can assure you that they're not concerned with the score. They want to see how they finish this game with the little things. We talked about it at the beginning, but you also have to finish the game with those things as well.
So it'll back Chapmanville up to a 2nd and 12 now. So it'll be basically a 2-yard loss overall on the play as the holding happened downfield. So we're down to 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd. They give it off to Kovac. Big collision right in the middle, and Kovac still churning, still pushing, and right down to the 25-yard line. My goodness, how much energy could this kid possibly have?
Looked like a first quarter run, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, he hits 2 to 3 Skyhawks at one time, and you got to wonder if this pounding over this entire game is taking a toll on that Skyhawk front 7. You know, it's not just the defensive line. He's getting to the second level. He's punishing linebackers.
It is, and I'm like you. These guys just lean on you and lean on you all night. Eventually, you just don't want to tackle them anymore. It's on 3rd down. They go back to Kovac. Here he comes, spins away, fights down inside the 15, inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal to go for Chapmanville when we come back, as we will start the 4th quarter right after this, as you are watching high school football action with us right here live on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. Get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Start of the 4th quarter here from Tiger Stadium. Chris Kidd with you, with Dwayne Williams, along with J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. I'd like to thank our 4th quarter and second half sponsors here tonight, as this 4th quarter brought to you by Rebound Physical Therapy of Chapmanville. This final 12 minutes here. Chapmanville scores here as well, Dwayne. We have a running clock in the 4th quarter, so we do still have some drama left here in this 4th period.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if we're going to get the running clock rule into effect. And they ended that 3rd quarter just like they've been doing the entire game, just punishment. The punishing run game from Kovac and company. And you see the wide receivers getting in on the end of the plays, blocking. The offensive line is 10 yards down the field. this team truly looks to be enjoying this physical type of play.
Yeah, and I'm like you, with the way that Scott has dominated this series over the last 4 or 5 years, you know that a lot of these guys that have been there through those poundings are now really loving the way that they've played here tonight, as Ward gets it coming near side, and he's in, but a flag comes in at the last second once again. Let's see here, Scott feverishly waving for people to come out and attend to a Skyhawk that's down in the end zone. Hopefully that's just cramps again. But I haven't seen an official signal on the flag yet, Dwayne. But let's step aside here, and we'll come back and we'll find out exactly what the call is as you're watching high school football action on D&D Sports.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsports.com.
Back here in Chapmanville, West Virginia, as players up for Scott and off the field now, but Chapmanville, the touchdown does stand, Dwayne. Again, they waved off the flag after it was on the ground, and Trey Ward finally gets that first touchdown after had a punt return call back tonight and had a couple other chances.
I'm sure that's what he said as well, but they've been trying to work that jet sweep in, and as you can see how effective that is with Ward. They tried some of the young guys, but hit pay dirt with Ward.
Now Jonathan Farrell on for the extra point. This up and through, and Chapmanville now leads at 41-0 here over Scott. We'll step aside for another break and be back after this. You're watching high school football action on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com, and all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
41-0. It's been all Chapmanville here tonight as they have run roughshod over their Corridor G rivals, the Scott Skyhawks. Chris Kidd here, Dwayne Williams alongside me. J.J. Pruitt, our engineer, here tonight as this fourth quarter being brought to you in part by Giovanni's of Danville. We appreciate all your support here tonight on the D&D Sports Network. This kick comes down, a little squibber, hops a couple of times at about the 11-yard line, picked up there by Scott, and now a nice return out across the 35, close to the 40-yard line, and that'll be good starting field position for Scott, maybe even close to the 41-yard line as the running clock now in effect.
We talked earlier about Scott owning this matchup in recent memory. So you know Chapmanville has to be enjoying this score, and especially the seniors. This will be the first time that they have beaten this Skyhawks team.
Yeah, it does. It makes such a difference. I remember our biggest one. I know tennis is different to a lot of people, but in high school, when I played at Logan, Capital was our big rival. They were very good at that time, and we got kicked on the first 3 years that I played against Capital, and then my senior year we were so good we beat them 7-0 overall, and it was a wonderful feeling just knowing what you've been through against those guys, and I'd imagine that a lot of these Chapmanville Tigers are feeling very similar to that down on the field now as that pass just a little too far out in front of Easterling's intended receiver.
That was actually good timing there. That's the first time we've seen Easterling get a chance to throw in rhythm. So I think moving forward in this game, as the Skyhawks probably want to see, the game's out of hand at this point. We have a running clock, but they are looking forward in this season, and they got to get this pass game. They have an experienced second-team All-State quarterback from last year, so I expect to see them work on that now. Get some rhythm going to find something positive you can draw from on this game.
I agree, and that's – if you're Scott right now, that's just what you want to do. Try and just get out of here healthy, one, and also get ready for next week by trying to get some momentum going in your offense here with just getting some plays run, getting some people some action, try and find some completions here and there, as there's about a 3-yard run up the left side.
What an explosion off the line by number 51, Amari Daniels from Chapmanville. He subbed in for the first time, I think, this game, and he got in the backfield so quick he had to chase the running back down from behind. So we see these Tiger players getting a chance to show what they can do, and they're bringing some energy.
It'll be a 3rd down and 6 now for Scott as Easterling fakes over the middle. Nice find to Perry. Perry inside the 40, and he's going to get brought down close to the 36-yard line. Great throw there by Easterling. Good job by Perry. What second half Perry's had for Scott?
Same play call there. We just saw them miss just a moment ago. Another rhythm throw. Easterling is a rhythm passer. He gets in a rhythm. He's got great mechanics. He can get that ball out, but he has to have time to throw. And it's nice to see quick rhythm, get a first down, and see if they can keep building on this and see if some of these substitution players by Chapmanville can make a stand here.
Give it off on 1st and 10 off the left side as a little bit of yardage there, maybe about a gain of 4 on the play as number 4 in the game, Luke Williamson, able to make that carry. It'll be 2nd down now as we fall under 8.5 minutes to play.
Looked like a gang tackle there led by Sawyer Dalton to clean that up. Nice run and nice finish tackles by Chapmanville's D.
Scott trying to find the end zone for the first time tonight. Again, they went into halftime with only 1 first down in the game thus far. And this is an offense that still looks like they've got a lot of good athletes on the field for the Skyhawks. So I don't think you're going to see them take this kind of beating throughout the season very often as Easterling takes it off to the outside, and he's going to scramble for a first down and then takes a big hit towards the Scott sideline, but it'll move the chains.
Nice job by Easterling to step up in the pocket and then go to his right. His eyes were still downfield. He made a run. The first time we've seen him downfield running, and, sometimes these defenders, their eyes light up when they see a quarterback with their chance to hit him, and Colton Brock cleaned that up at the end. But nice little scramble there by Easterling.
Looks like Chapmanville's put some of the starters back in now as Scott gets closer to the red zone as we get a score update. Logan has now taken a 14-0 lead over Man, as that game's been a defensive struggle back and forth. But you get a penalty here, and it looks like it's going to be against Chapmanville, so it'll be a first down nonetheless for Scott, as that'll put them down inside the 20.
Any time a defense has a chance to have a shutout,
Oh,
they still have something to play for. The game's in hand, but that means a lot.
It is. You want the shutout whenever you've got the chance, and if you get to do it against one of your rivals, it's even better, as Brown tries to get outside, but he's stood up by several Tigers. So that'll make it 2nd down now.
Another strong run by Brown. He's just shown his toughness the entire game. That would have been a very easy play there to go down. There's 4 or 5 people trying to wrap him up. Even when they blow the play dead, he was still on his feet. So big props to that young man for playing hard the entire game.
We are about at the midway point of this 4th quarter. Again, running clock now. They changed some of the rules on that. Again, now if it's 42 points, then it's a running clock. And if it's 35 or more in the 4th quarter, it's a running clock. So now Easterling looking to go under center here as play clock winds down. Easterling takes snap, gives it off in the backfield. Tough run over towards the right side, still pushing forward on the play. And Grant picks up 2 to 3 yards, and then he'll bring up 3rd down at about 6 here for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, both sides of the ball are showing that this drive is still important. We've talked about the game's out of hand. But Scott's looking for something to build on for next week to get some positive, because it's going to be a rough film session for the Skyhawks team. Not going to lie to you, it's going to be rough. Going to be a lot of players disappointed and angry and frustrated. They're looking for something positive to build on. Chapmanville, some of these substitutions, still some starters in there, of course. They want to hold on to this shutout.
It'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Skyhawks. Under center, Easterling gets drilled as he throws it and tried to find Perry, and incomplete. And if Easterling hadn't have taken that hit, he might have had a shot to find Perry on that play, but he got destroyed as soon as he snapped that ball.
Kovac was there immediately. He's been punishing defenders while he has the ball. That time he punishes the QB, and Easterling takes a shot, and he had something there. So a good play call with the blitz, and it looked like nobody touched Kovac there.
Yeah, so again, give Easterling credit. Again, he stood in there and took the hit and tried to get rid of that ball, and Kovac was able to deflect it just enough to bring up 4th down and 8 now. It's down under 10 on the play clock, so Scott's going to have to hurry here as they run to the line of scrimmage with 3, with 2, with 1. Easterling does get the snap off, fires near side, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Perry. And it'll be turned over on downs. As good defense out there by Wesley Watts, able to help break that up.
Wesley Watts right there. A good throw. Throw was on target, but once again, the defense right there to make a play. Nice play by Watts.
So now Chapmanville will take over with 4:19 showing on the clock here in the 4th quarter. And I'd imagine you'll see some substitutes keep filtering in and out here in this 4th quarter. Yes, I'd say you'll see Chapmanville probably keep the ball on the ground for most of the rest of this game. To try and get out of here again with no injuries, be secure, because they have the long trip to Nicholas County next week.
Yeah, they'll be hitting the road, so you do imagine a lot of handoffs here, especially with this running clock. Dalton is still under center, so unless they want to just work on something, maybe should see a few more handoffs here.
Now Dalton out of the shotgun, they'll give it off, and off the left side, pushing forward is Kovac. So he'll get up to about the 25-yard line for another nice gain. Or actually, no, that is a substitute. That's Sawyer, I believe.
Sawyer Dalton.
Well, you know what? Sawyer Dalton, Kovac, I mean, both are bruisers at the end of the day.
Hey, another example of a young guy. He's doing his best Kovac impression there. Showed it last week, showed it again this week. Very physical runner, and it's always good to get these guys in these moments, in these rivalry games, no matter what the score, to be in there with the starting quarterback, because you never know when you're needed to play alongside the starting QB.
Exactly. So it is. These reps matter a lot, because you never know whenever you're going to get called upon. So Dalton will take the pitch this time, gives it to Sawyer Dalton as he'll break it across the 25, and that'll be enough for a 1st down.
Nice tackle there by number 21, Cooper Grant of the Skyhawks. He saw that play develop, and he followed along, and when he had the opportunity, shot through there and took a very difficult runner down to the ground by himself.
Closing in on 3 minutes to go here in the contest. As now Mann has scored to cut Logan's lead to 14-6 over in Mann. So that back to a 1-possession score in that contest. Chapmanville waits here to run the play clock down as we're under 3 minutes to go now. Dalton out of the shotgun, gives it to Sawyer Dalton again as he gets upended at about the 30-yard line for a gain of 2.
Another opportunity for Dalton, and Dalton, I'm sure, is used to playing with the second and third team quarterback. So like we said, just everything's different with each different quarterback. You've got a different combination with the center, the quarterback. So very valuable possession here. You see some more switches here on the offensive line. So coaching staff at Chapmanville doing a great job of switching guys in and out to get them some playing time.
Now it'll be 2nd down and about 8 here for Chapmanville as Dalton in the shotgun again as we're closing on 2 minutes to play. So just a few more plays left on the docket here tonight before Chapmanville will move to 1-0 on the season, as this time Scott able to wrap Dalton up in the backfield for a loss.
Nice play there by the Scott defensive line. Playing that hard this late in a blowout game, you got to really give them credit. They got it there in the backfield. Chapmanville's done it all night, so it's good to see the Scott Skyhawks tee off a little bit, even here at the end of a blowout game.
clock continues to run, as we'd like to thank our sponsors again here tonight: 304 Motorsports, Danville Pharmacy, Hanley Funeral Home, Trend Services, Blessings and Blooms, Domino Printing, Lucky Dog Thrift, Farrell and Hill Insurance, Diamond Flagging Company, J&J Mobile Detailing, PT12, and LB&T Banking. And we'd like to also thank our second half sponsors here tonight: Rebound Physical Therapy and Giovanni's of Danville, helping you bring you this second half tonight.
Another good play by the Scott Skyhawk defense there. Gang tackling, getting to the ball, trying to finish this game with a little bit of physicality.
We're under 1 minute to play now here in the contest, as it's fourth down for Chapmanville. We'll see if they elect to try and punt it away or not with 40 or so seconds to go. Again, they got 18 on the play clock. As Dakota Dalton will bring them back out here to perhaps run their final offensive play of the evening. As play clock runs down to 5 as we get under 30 seconds to go here. And now they will let the play clock run out, and time will continue to tick away.
You've got to think, what better way to start the season for the Tigers as facing off versus their rivals and getting this W.
And now we get a water bath, and it's for Coach Williamson over on the near side as Kovac and Topping both drilled him with it. So Coach Belcher able to possibly avoid that one here tonight. But Scott could not avoid the dominating performance that Chapmanville put on them here this evening as they win it going away 41-0. We'll step aside for a break and be back to close out things right after this as you're watching high school football action on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 and reach us Monday through Friday.
$41-0. Chapmanville wins it here tonight over their Corridor G rivals, the Scott Skyhawks. Chris Kidd and Dwayne Williams here, J.J. Pruitt, our engineer. And it's time now for our Tug Valley Wellness Center Player of the Game. Dwayne, we could have probably picked a lot of people here tonight for the Chapmanville Tigers, but besides the offensive line, one man stood out, and it was because of that offensive line this man stood out. Who we got here tonight?
We got the man beast himself, Preston Kovac. Absolutely well-deserved. And like you said, hand-in-hand with that offensive line, a lot of choices for the Tigers, but his domination, the way he finished, even the short runs, but just the inability to stop him on the touchdown. And you can see that James Barker trusts him tremendously, and for good reason.
And again, 3 touchdowns for Kovac tonight, 2 for Jeremy Collins, 1 for Trey Ward, and it spelled a 41-0 win for the Chapmanville Tigers. Well, Dwayne and I will be back with you next week. We'll be in Nicholas County for Chapmanville and the Grizzlies, so make sure you join us next Friday night at 7 o'clock for the kick between Chapmanville and Nicholas County. So again, I want to thank J.J. Pruitt, our engineer here tonight. Once again, the man himself, the myth, the legend, J.J. Pruitt. Phenomenal job as always. Want to thank Dwayne Williams next to me. Great job again here tonight. And I'm Chris Kidd saying so long here from Barker Stadium this evening as you have been watching Chapmanville Tiger and Scott Skyhawk football action